Hello, and welcome to Let Supreme Ghost Thief. Death's Cold Embrace is here, and this is one I've been waiting for, and I know a lot of players have, for a long time. So it is definitely worth interrupting my Thief Gold run, at least for a few missions. I am planning on playing this entire campaign and finish Thief Gold. I'm not abandoning that project whatsoever, but I won't do all of these missions back to back. I'll probably bounce a little bit back and forth and make sure that I get them both done. Depends on the quality of this campaign, but I have a sneaky feeling it's going to be among the best I've ever played. I just have that feeling. I've only played the first mission so far. Literally, I haven't even played a second of Mission 2. So I know nothing of anything else after this one. So I'm looking forward to this playthrough. Let's just say that much. This is a campaign by primarily Yandros. I know he's had help by Random Taffer and a few other of the fan mission community authors. I do know that it started out being based on one or two partially made missions by Polygon, I think, but that was way back in 2004, so this is well over a decade in the making. So there's a lot of buzz going around the community now about this campaign, so I decided to jump into it right away. I just could not keep my hands off of it. So let's go ahead and start a new game here. Of course, we're playing an expert. We're doing Supreme Ghost, so let's start it. There is no briefing, at least not for the first mission. I don't know if there is for the other ones, but it seemed like they're going with more of an in-game automatic Canvator sequence or something like that to show you the story. So all we have right now as far as objectives is just Act 1 prologue. So we will be taken into an in-mission briefing at first. And the first mission is called Murder Most Foul. And we are carrying absolutely nothing except for the blackjack and our sword. We also do have the compass and our lockpicks. So the first time I played it, I bought a lot of stuff because I didn't know what we were going to find. We do need a couple of arrows here, especially a rope arrow. So we will need to find that in the mission as soon as possible. Otherwise, we'd have to buy it here, and that is a bust to Supreme. So we're not going to do that. There's also an invisibility potion available. So we will skip the purchase screen, but notice that I don't think I see this too often, that you don't carry anything besides your blackjack and your sword.
It's been a while since I banished the trickster, and my dealings with the hammers have returned to normal. How quickly they forget the favors done for them. It may have to do with much of their attention being focused on a splinter group calling themselves Mechanists. I've learned that their leader, Karis, is the one who made my mechanical eye when he was still a hammerite. Karis seems obsessed with glorifying the builder through the advancement of technology. Just what I need. A bunch of religious zealots armed with the latest gadgetry gaining power in the city. I was contacted yesterday by a wealthy merchant in Dayport named Richard Fairbanks through a series of mutual acquaintances. The target of his job proposal is the apartment of a recently murdered inventor named Mark Miller. Just before he was killed, Miller sold a valuable formula for the manufacture of synthetic emeralds to Lord Alan Highwater, whose family's rivalry with the Fairbanks is well known throughout the city. Fairbanks suspects foul play, and he wants me to visit Miller's workshop and find anything that would be useful in giving him an upper hand over the wealthier and more powerful Lord Highwater. The inventor's home is still under investigation by the Watch, so I'll need to be careful visiting the crime scene. After I'm done, I'm supposed to meet Fairbanks at the Trickster's Tail Pub. I was immediately suspicious of his motives. The last thing I need is to get in the middle of a blood feud. But since saving the world doesn't cover the rent, the prospect of actually getting paid well for a job has a nice ring to it. I just need to be on my toes.
Okay, so now we get our objectives. And they are, get inside Miller's workshop and find something that will be useful to Lord Fairbanks. The workshop is reportedly in the basement of his apartment. Once you have something, find Lord Fairbanks at the Trickster's Tale pub to get your payment and see what kind of additional work he offers you. Find him without being noticed by anyone inside the Trickster's Tale before the meeting. Find at least 7,000 loot. Don't kill anyone tonight. And when you've met with Fairbanks and fulfilled your loot goal, get back to the South Gate so you can head home. So besides the normal objectives, really everything we have to do is get to the workshop's basement and find something useful there. And then get back to meet him. So there is one other objective that is a hidden objective that we actually will complete. But besides this is what we have to focus on. So let's take a look at the map. We are in Dayport, and we are able to access most of what you see on the map here. We are starting by the south gate. There's a north gate and an east gate. As you can see, there's nothing beyond those. You can travel across the rooftops and drop down in areas where you're not supposed to, but then you really can't get back. So, and there's nothing of interest there anyway, so there's no point in doing that. This is called the Redleaf Square district. That's the part of Dayport we're in. And we can move through sectors here on the map and see different areas. So you have the Harlequin Inn here. You have a baker. You have Linda's Luxury Apparel. And then you have Fairbanks Manor in the middle. We can't actually access that. But there are some buildings in this mission that I assume will be accessible in later missions. Because I do know, from what I've heard, the city is being reused in a few missions. There's an electrical station here in the south. You have street names. This is the Redleaf Square, a little bit to the north. In the southeast sector, we have just southeast of Fairbanks Manor, you have the High Priest residence. Then you also have a Hammerite Chapel. Neither of these are accessible. City Watch Station, or the Guard Station, is here, an important place. Then you have some apartments, and this is where the apartment is, this one right here. This is where Miller used to live. And then you have, in the north sector, or northwest really, you have the pub, where we're going to end. You have a Dayport lighting, a jewelry store, and an artist studio. Anything north of this gate, which is locked, we cannot access. You can, like I said, drop down there. I don't think you can back up. You can see a little bit of the establishments if you do, but there's nothing, no people, nothing to really see. Okay, so we will, obviously, we will clean the area that we're starting in first, and then we're going to move north up here, and then there is a key that we need to get from the west side that we will need to access one of the, or the hidden objective actually, in one of the apartments here. We have to also pick up the key to Miller's workshop, or Miller's house apartment, and that is found in the City Watch Station, in a safe there. So we're going to head via that station on our way to the basement. Okay, we're going to start by making a real save and listening to a conversation.
Nothing ever happens on this job.
Could be worse.
So dull. Just patrol around in circles.
You'd rather be sweeping streets again?
At least then I was meeting people.
Yeah, but the wrong kind of people.
Boring, boring, boring.
Alright. So these are two of the guards that patrol the streets. One of them had a lantern. There's an artifact in this wagon worth 20. And we are going to head into Linda's textile store, which is right here first. This is the baker's back entrance. You can get in there, but you get stopped by bags of flour, I think, in the storage room, so you can't get further. You can travel across quite a few of the rooftops. Some probably were intended, and some weren't. So we're going to start by mantling up here. And this is one entrance to the clothing store. And that counts as a secret. Here's a rope arrow. That's why I'm heading here first. You can take that. It's allowed to take anything that you need, and we definitely need that. Okay, we're going to open this. And we can find what I think is a globe of some sort. Globe in a box, that's what it looks like to me. It's worth 70, so that's 90 total. There's a lot of light switches, pretty much in every single building. And we're not allowed to turn off any lights. This one turns it on, so obviously we won't do that. We're now above the clothing store. You can see Linda down there. We're going to take that candlestick. Just got to wait for her to move. There we go. Then we can go down into Linda's bedroom. She doesn't come in here. She only goes to the living room upstairs. Okay, in here you have 2 plates on the wall, worth 10 each. And then there is also a diary. I'm going to try to get all the readables in this mission. And there's a lot. My business has never been so strong. Not only are sales of my clothing up thanks to referrals, I've been doing more design and creation of custom dresses than ever before. Adding services to my offerings was a brilliant idea. I need to give Mallory a raise just for suggesting it. Let's go in here. Here is a goblet worth 15, total 175. And then in here there is what I think is a bracelet worth 150, total 325. Dark in the middle of the doorways are usually dark. The drapes are a little bit dangerous because she can see through them. Okay. Jewelry box here with the necklace. You can't close the box. It's a little bit frustrating, but anyway. Another plate here. 1 through 3 masks, total 755. Let's see, now we're going to be a little bit careful. There's nothing in this room, but there's a secret. Here. Second secret already. I think we're good. That holds another necklace worth 200. Then there's another readable. January 4th. Andrea came in for her final fitting today. The dress looked wonderful on her. The pale green lights up her eyes, and the darker green emphasizes the red highlights in her hair. She even remembered to wear the correct corset this time. January 6th. Ladies B and R came in. Truly they could not have looked more different. Lady B wore a hideous dress, and hideous red and black dress that hung on her like a sack. It was tied tightly around to provide some shape, but it helps immensely if there's actually some shape under it. Lady R has obviously been hitting the wine too hard. If she sneezes, she's going to pop out of that dress like an overripe fruit. Disgusting. Fortunately, they were only window shopping. I really hope no one saw them come in here. January 7th. Lady B returned. It seems she has been suffering from some kind of illness and was looking for something to give her some shape. We began with the padded chemise and petticoat. Next, we added the corset for support and the bustle. Not too big, but definitely there. With this proper foundation in place, we were able to find 3 styles of dress that worked well on her. The bodices on 2 of them have ruching to increase the dimensions in the correct areas, and the skirts have several ruffles on them to balance the proportions. The third dress has additional lace on top to provide fluffiness, and should be worn with a bolero jacket. She was quite pleased and will return in a few days for the second fitting. I only hope she doesn't lose more weight in the meantime. January 9th. Lady Hortons came in to be fitted for her spring wardrobe. As usual, she wants a variety of colors. No gray for her. She chose screen overskirts over peach underskirts, then matched the jacket to the overskirt. She also wanted dark ruby red over ivory and midnight blue over mint green. In addition, she wanted plum purple over dark forest green and a couple of lighter colored dresses for when the weather warms up. Pale lemon with hints of rose and peach, and pale lavender over ivory patterned with turquoise blue. It is going to be a busy time getting all of this sewn up for her, but the results will be worth it. I will just have to pay the girls a little extra to stay later than usual. January 10th. What a day! Marie Claire Vogue named my shop the best fashion in town. She's going to send her daughter Elle here for all her dress work. This is amazing. I can double my custom on the rumor alone. Plus, they have inside knowledge of the other fashion houses. I can make some discreet inquiries during Elle's fittings. January 11th. Lady B returned for her second fitting. She still looks like a stick, but she is a well-padded stick with shape. I only wish I could convince her that everything she wears doesn't have to be red and black. There are other colors in the spectrum. Enjoy them. January 12th. Lady Fairbanks brought her daughter with her today. She's grown up so fast. A set of 3 dresses will make her look a proper lady. Gray over white to start with. The gray will enhance her eyes. She is so pure. The white is a natural second choice. Pale yellow under dark blue for the second set, and the third is lavender under a darker plum. Apart from that, she will need just a trainer corset and a couple of extra ivory petticoats. January 13th. Lady Hortons returned for her second fitting. It took all day. The girls were complaining later about their knees because of all the different hemlines. I don't know what they are complaining about. They get paid well and would be scrubbing floors all day otherwise. 1 piece of art done and about a dozen to go. It's interesting with all the detailed, though seemingly trivial, information on the different people around the city. It makes the city feel more alive. Like I said, I haven't played anything else of this campaign, but I have a feeling that this little girl here mentioned might be an important part of the story. I don't know why, but I don't think so. I just have a feeling. I might be wrong though. I might be completely off, but I don't know. Something tells me. I'm gonna head up here and close this one. I need to go all the way down, but now she came and there's nothing I can do about it, really. Well, there might be. Let me see. December sales, clothing 2,300, services 1,150, total 3,450, expenses fabric 880, salaries 440, cleaning 140, and total 1,460. Bottom line 1,990. That's one we have to pick open. I'd like to limit lock picks, but I always pick locks if I can get loot. I don't know where she's going. So I'm just hoping she's going in there. Those coins were worth 240. She also carries a key. We were pretty lucky here. She carries a key and that unlocks the front door. If you're looking for all pickpockets. The front door is not pickable, so this is the only entrance, the only way to enter her building. I think on lower difficulties it might not be. You might be able to pick it. There. Now what I found, and I want to confirm this, is that when you open this entrance the second time... No. Last time I played the doors disappeared. I'm happy it didn't now. So I had to use the other entrance to leave. Okay, good. So we're done with that. Okay, we're gonna head over here. This is the Harlequin Inn. This is one of the rooms. There's a purse here. Worth 200 total. Might be off in the amount here a little bit. I thought I was going to have 13.95 from this. Let me reload here real quick. $11.95. Okay. $14.15. That was worth 220. Okay. This is a vacant room. If we go downstairs, we can't actually do this for Supreme, but there is a piece of loot down there that we unfortunately have to skip. When you open this door, we'll get an alert.
What's that?
Yeah. From this lady. So that is a bust. There's a piece of loot in this box here. So I got the numbers off here. I just got to check my list here a little bit. That was worth 220. So that this was worth 140. This purse right here. It's also a ledger, January 13th, room 1, Lord Geoffrey Rothschild. Paid in advance, says he's in Dayport visiting his sister. It's probably true, as his daughter is with him. Room 2 vacant. So we have to skip this piece of loot. So that's 140 skipped so far. For Supreme, remember, you cannot even take first alerts. So that means that we sometimes have to skip loot. There's one more piece that we have to skip in this mission. Let's see. Over here. Alright, now we're ready to sort of head to the streets. Now that we have a rope arrow,
Who's there?
I'll show you something else. Up here you can find a slow fall potion and a healing potion. If you're looking for all the items. I'll show you what I've found so far, so. Okay. So this is the Harlequin Inn then. If you enter through the front door, there's even less of a chance to reach that loot. You'll get a second level alert. So we're now headed towards the electric center, so we're going to go there next. This is a pickable footlocker with noisemaker arrow. I'm going to head upstairs. There's a guard here that I want to wait until it comes in. Okay, in this footlocker, I believe there are 3 water arrows in this one. And this one is pickable and has a gas mine. He goes in and out with regular intervals. He stops out there though. What I want to do is flip this switch. Gets a 3rd secret. And this is a flash bomb, and then there's a pile of coins up here. Should be worth 1420. No, it should be worth 25, so we should have 1440. Okay, I'm off 20 on my list here because I thought the purse that we were supposed to skip was worth 20 more. Now he's back in. We want to read the diary down there too. November 20. The work has finally begun on replacing the old backup electric system with some better equipment. The new generator was delivered, along with its regulator. All we need is the battery and the zone capacitor, and we should be good to go. December 6. Still waiting for that battery. The zone capacitor arrived yesterday. We got it unpacked and found out it needs some kind of special newfangled wiring. Sarge evidently forgot about that. It should be here in a few days. December 9th. Neither the wiring nor the battery have bothered to make an appearance. The guys are making bets as to which one will arrive first. I'm betting on the battery. We ordered it a month ago. December 15th. The wiring arrived. I'm out 5 gold. December 27th. Oh, the builder's ever-loving mercy. The battery has finally shown up. The delivery company had sent it to the guardhouse in Old Quarter. Old Quarter. They couldn't afford this system. Eventually, one of those numbskulls over there noticed this huge, giant, monstrously oversized metal object in their station house and thought it was an oil container. It wasn't until they couldn't find the fill nozzle that they realized what it was. The thing didn't even belong there. Those guys are taffed in the head. January 2nd. Generator is installed and working well. The regulator is regulating, and amazingly enough, the zone capacitor is almost capturing the extra electrics and storing it in the battery. The issue is the wiring. There is some kind of cross-interference with it, which is causing the zone capacitor to randomly zap objects around it, including the battery. We have to get this fixed before it does any real damage. January 4th. Still working on the wiring. I don't care what Sarge says. It's bloody cold out there, and I'm going to have some kind of heat stroke, maybe? Oh, and I'm going to have some kind of heat. January 7th. I think I understand the problem. I'm going to have to relocate at least one of those wires. Why couldn't this stuff have shown up before the snow? There we go. Let's head out here. There's a gas arrow. And a moss arrow hanging from the ceiling here. I guess this is the area they're talking about working on. I'm not sure. Mantle up here and grab this statue. Should be worth 15, so we should have 14.55. Yep. Okay, let's see if we can mantle over here. Yes, we can. Good. Stack of gold coins. It's worth 25, total 1480. So rope arrow in that little box. Don't like this lantern guard here, but anyway. There's a spice bag we need to get on that windowsill. I think we're safe here. This is Fairbanks Manor basement, I believe. I'm sure this room will be more important in a later mission. Some generators in here, and then there's a flash bomb. That's all I could find in this room, at least. Let's wait for this guy. This reads, The Eternal Flame. This flame kept forever burning by the watch, in memory of Captain Lewis Riley, slain whilst apprehending the Dayport cat burglar. Rest in peace. Cat burglar. Could that be Sutter from Thieves Guild? Alright, next we're gonna pick the lock on the baker's entrance, unless somebody's coming here.
Getting tired of going after these poor slobs. Didn't do much but be hungry. When do we go after the real villains?
Can't reach it. Gotta wait for the lantern guard to come by too. Kind of exposed here.
Think it's safe? Hard to tell. Nowhere it's really safe anymore. Not now. Don't think anyone's nearby. Should be okay.
I don't know. I thought I heard something that could be an alert. I'm not sure. Okay. There. Okay, in the baker's, we can read his diary. Or ledger first. December ledger. Sales 1,040. Expenses flour 280, sugar 210, apples 90, currants 110, rent 200, total 890, and net profit 150. Okay, there's one loaf of bread that you can take from in here. This is the door that leads to the room that I said was blocked from the other side. There's nothing to pick up. Do you think there is a box here with a purse worth 65, total 1585. Upstairs. There is a necklace in here, total 1785, that's worth 200, and a diary. Sales are down a lot this winter, and I can't figure out why. My bread and pastries are as good as ever, and I've even lowered my prices a bit, but it's not helped yet. Meanwhile, Crater is raising flour prices next month, so we will have to either find a new supplier or figure a way to boost sales, or else what little profits I'm making now will dry up. May have to give up and sell the place in a few months if things don't improve. If this continues, I won't have enough saved to go visit Mom in the spring. Perhaps I should sell the place and move back in with her. She loves my current buns even if no one else does. Oh, that's sad. Makes me feel bad I took his necklace. But what do you know? We have a living to make too. Didn't open that right now. Oh. Let's wait for him. For Supreme, it's a little bit stop and go in this mission because there's not a lot of areas that are very difficult, but there are a couple. We're coming up on one soon. The Duelers and Miller's Workshop are the two areas that are tough. Let me show you something here. A little bit of a mess.
Oh!
What's that?
Okay, I'm... Odd. Pretty sure you can get up here.
Oh!
Huge breaths of air.
Guess not.
Stay away!
Okay, there we go. In here, 2 more slow fall potions. Does not count as a secret. Alright, this is the entrance to Linda's clothing store. I'm going to head for the artist's studio next. Very exposed here. Just got to go for it, really. What does it say? Red-faced artist, fine arts and portraits, serving nobility for 15 years. Didn't get an alert there, was too far away. Good. Okay. Nobody's in here, so we're pretty safe. A letter. Mr. Redface, the Mechanist Order hereby commissions you to paint a portrait of our esteemed leader, Karis. Upon completion of said portrait, friend Gorik will come to retrieve it, and will pay you 500 as per our agreement. You should consider joining us and lending your talents to the Order to glorify the Builder. Friend Erlin. Okay. Some nice paintings here. Portraiture Digest. Private chambers. More paintings. Huh. Looks like us. It's a book we can't read, but there's a ring next to it. Worth 70. Here's a purse, worth 115. There's a bottle, and there's 2 gold goblets here, total 2,070. It's a mask, and then there's a key right here. Didn't find this first time through this area. That's a metal key. Head into the bedroom. Footlocker. Locked. Does the metal key work? No, it doesn't. Diary. January 4th. Regular work is steady, better than usual for winter, in fact. Sickening how much fat nobles will pay to have me paint a portrait of their fat spoiled wives and children to hang above their mantle. If I could only spend more time working on what I really want to, bringing my dark dreams and fantasies to life, I would be happier. But I can't complain about the money. One day I'll tell them all where they can shove their silver spoons and work only on my own art. January 8th. I got a commission request, well, really more of a demand, from the Mechanist Order. I think they are the new group formed out of the Hammers, but this guy Karis, and they want a portrait painted of him. I get to go to the chapel in Aldale tomorrow to see him, so I can do the work. Good thing I have a great memory to paint from. Apparently he's too busy to sit still for a few hours while I do it. At least they're giving me a week to get it done, and are paying twice my normal rate. Meanwhile, sweet little Miss J is asking for another rendezvous with her lover tomorrow night in my place. I probably shouldn't help her go behind her dad's back, but I can't help it. Young love is so pure, so beautiful. January 13th. I keep putting off finishing the Karis portrait, because I got a really bad vibe from the guy when I met with him at the chapel the other day. Something just doesn't seem right about him. Something I can't put my finger on, but I gotta get it done to score that 500 gold payment. Maybe tomorrow. Lord Bumbleson was unhappy with the portrait I did of his wife, saying I made her too fat. I nearly told him if he wanted a picture of a skinny woman, he shouldn't have married a cow. But alas, I had to bite my tongue and offer to try again. I guess this time I just won't paint her as truthfully as before. Okay. Here we have the second piece of loot that we have to skip, because in order to take this candlestick we have to douse it, and that's removing a light source, and that's not allowed. I do think that there should almost be an amendment to let us take loot when removing the light source isn't used to sort of dodge any guards or get through areas that are too brightly lit. I do understand the rule, but when it comes to loot, I think it's a little bit silly almost. You could argue that somebody will see the light go out and they will alert from it, and since there are windows in this room, I guess that would be likely. So I'm going to skip it. It is worth 50. So we should be at 2120 at this point. Yes, we are. So I'm going to skip it. Up here there's another key. A small gold key. See if that works. Yes, it does. Excellent. Here's a blue vase, pile of coins, an artifact. We cannot close or relock the footlocker, which is not a bust if you can't do it. Okay, I don't think there was anything in the bathroom. No, don't believe so. So the metal key is needed for the basement door. This one. Here we go. Here's the unfinished Karis picture.
I know that guy.
And here is Constantine. That is worth 300. And then there is a hidden coin back here. Worth 5. Nothing else. Oh. Now we got to put the metal key back. You got to return everything for Supreme, so keys have got to go back. Elevator has to be reset. All those kind of things. There we go. And that was set to the lowest level, so that's good. Whoa. Is that Linda that we can hear through the wall? Kind of odd. Yes, it is. Alright, now we get to a difficult area. Let's see. Here's a ring. Gotta pick the lock on the jeweler's door without getting heard. The ring was worth 100. Oh. Head back here. Pick the lock on this too. Gotta move a little fast here. Grab this key, small key. So we found another secret, the fourth, behind that statue. There's a little button under here. Took me a long time to find that. And we also got We didn't, but now we got a purse in here. That purse is worth 280, so that's 33.40. Let's read this ledger. December 12th, paid 1750 gold for latest gem shipment. 14th, sold pearl necklace, 300 gold. On the 15th, sold emerald earrings, 325 gold. On December 19th, sold gold and silver bracelet, 175 gold. December 20th, repair job, 100 gold. December 21st, paid 525 gold for shipment ring blanks. December 26th, sold amethyst, emerald, and diamond pendant, 750 gold. Wow, that's a big one. December 28th, sold emerald necklace, 375 gold. 29th, sold amethyst bracelet for 10 gold, and the same day sold emerald and diamond pin, 380 gold. January 2nd, sold emerald bracelet, 350 gold. 4th, sold diamond bracelet, 650 gold. On the 5th, sold platinum and gold collar, 450 gold. January 9th, paid 1500 gold for gem shipment. January 10th, sold emerald cufflinks, 180 gold. January 12th, sold sapphire tiara, 270 gold. That's it. Let's see, we're going to actually wait for him to go back up. There's a bunch of loot in here in display cases. We cannot unlock those yet. We don't have the key, but we are going to get it. This is going to be a little tough. This will take some tries. But we can do this entire house supreme clean. That's good. Okay, so he stations himself over by the fireplace. Then he goes over to the bookcase and stops there. Then he comes back down. We can luckily hide when he's stationed by the bookcase. And we're going to take the loot.
Medals for awards now. Get to march around outside in the grass and the trees. Uniforms are better. They got
These 2 candlesticks.
in the army.
Open this and read the diary. December 1st, we received a nice shipment of mixed gems from Victor. He has been doing quite well lately. The colored gems came at a reasonable price, and the colors are bright and clear. I checked them for dyes and didn't see any traces. It's horrible that the chemists do that, but they think no one will notice. Bah! I will notice, and eventually so will my customers. December 4th, Lord Bafford of Fatness bought the pearl necklace I've been trying to sell for the last 3 months, and he paid more than I was expecting. A little wine and the deal is done. I should put the matching bracelets in a handy spot for the next time he comes in. December 7th. Found 7 of the amethysts were very, very close in color, and 3 emeralds also. I still have a couple of rather undersized diamonds left over. 6 of the amethysts are almost petal-shaped. The emeralds are long and slender. Wonder if I can reshape that one amethyst and make these gems into a flower. December 11th. It worked! Reshaping that one amethyst took a while, but the results are worth it. The emeralds are the leaves, the amethysts are the petals, and the tiny diamonds make up the center of the flower. This will be quite the piece. December 14th. Slow time right now. I wonder what I can produce with the rest of that shipment. 18th. Today I made a heart-shaped locket with a single perfect emerald on it. I also made a pendant of a single triangular-shaped diamond and put it on one of the fancier chains. They aren't the masterpieces I usually create, but they should still fetch a good price. December 20th. Lady Rumford brought in a necklace complaining that it had broken. Her ladyship stated one of the maids had trampled it, but that was obviously a lie. Stamping on it would have crushed something. This looked like it had been pulled apart. I wonder if her ladyship had mistaken it for a bottle opener. Again. December 21st. Victor came by with the blanks I had ordered a month ago. He brought a good selection as usual, and included extra spools of platinum and gold wire. December 26th. That flower pendant sold already. The eldest son of Lord Highwater of Aldale came in looking for something special. Emeralds are all the rage right now, but he wanted something featuring mainly amethysts. He never did say who the lucky young lady was, but she must be really something. He didn't haggle at all about the price. December 28th. Rumford's niece brought the emerald necklace with the teardrop pendants on it. That seems to be a popular style, but too easily imitated. I should consider adding other gems to it to make the pieces more unique. December 29th. Fairbank's son came in for a nice bracelet for his sister. Every time she comes in here, she gravitates towards anything with either flowers or amethysts. The bracelet had both a floral pattern and a deep purple amethyst. She will be pleased, and so will he. It's the best way to keep them coming back. Lucilia came in too. Of course, she must have the latest fashion. Emeralds and diamonds really piqued her interest. Being the wife of a banker really has its perks. January 4th. Emeralds and amethysts are the hot items right now. I have requested an extra shipment from Victor. I hope he gets it here before the trend wears off. January 5th. I created a matching set of a gold and ruby ring and a circlet with a single star ruby as its centerpiece. Although they could sell separately, they make quite a nice set. January 6th. I caught that buffoon of a guard sleeping. Sleeping! Could be robbed blind and stabbed in my bed. And he would sleep through it. He looked so stunned when I dropped a bucket of water on him and told him to get out. January 7th. I created 2 gold and platinum woven bracelets. No gems, but they are fancy enough without them. January 9th. Victor's shipment arrived. He remembered to include both emeralds and amethysts, but he also included a lot of citrines. Drat. No one wants those right now. I should talk to Linda about the colors she's suggesting for this spring. January 10th. The replacement guard started tonight. I hired him from the City Watch, so he should be professional. January 12th. I haven't caught the guard sleeping, but his incessant pacing is waking me up at all hours. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Either he will have to start patrolling in his socks, or I shall have to install more carpet. Okay, so now we've opened up the... Okay. This is not very good timing, but we'll see what we can do here. We will see what we can do.
What's that? What?
Yeah, this won't work. We might have to wait a cycle or two for this to match up. Yeah, this is a difficult place. He has to be in a certain part of his patrol. Doesn't work the way it is now, so. Okay, now he's coming back up. The only way we really can do anything here is by doing this. We just have to wait for the next cycle. We have to get up there, we have to use the key we found downstairs in his safe, and we have to grab the key for the display cases downstairs. That key unfortunately doesn't disappear when it's used. If it does, we don't have to return it, we can't return it. But since it doesn't disappear, we have to get back up there again and return it. I initially thought that would be a huge bust for Supreme. In which case I probably just would have held on to the key. I wouldn't have skipped all the loot downstairs, because that's well over 1,000. But he doesn't alert from that key dropping back, which is kind of odd. It's almost like the authors put that in there on purpose. Okay, he is. This is much better. This is much better. Should be able to do it now. So he might see us there. There's this. The sound doesn't propagate properly down from the floor above. Don't know what's going on right now, because I haven't seen this type of patrol before.
Can't believe the damn coffee bowl is broken. These fancy gadgets around here. I can't get a simple mug of coffee.
Let's do that. Get the key ready. Grab his heavy key, which works on the stuff downstairs. Hope he turns around now, because sometimes he just starts patrolling. Did not, that's excellent.
Not again.
Think we have time here. It looks like we do have time, that's great. Let's do it. I want to make a real save. Took a little bit of time to figure this out. I haven't seen this type of... Alright. I think I got it. So now we can quick save. Okay, I gotta wait a little bit before I drop. Oh.
Come, what's that?
There we go. Alright. That was a lot. Let me go through what we took here. This is what we should have, so we got everything. We took in the safe upstairs. Well, we took a vase and 2 candlesticks in the living room upstairs. And then in the safe, we took a locket worth 200, a circlet worth 125, a purse worth 100, and a 3 stacks of gold coins worth 25 each. And down here, we took 4 bracelets, a ring, one pair of earrings, 2 lockets, a circlet, and a big necklace. So we should be at 57.40. We locked everything back up, and now we just have to return the key. Which is basically using the same method as we just did. And surprisingly, he does not alert to that dropping onto the...
Hold it.
Okay, let's see.
I should have joined the army. Yeah, you get medals for awards now. Get to march around outside and the grass and the trees. Uniforms are better. They got real good boots.
Who made that?
Okay. Him making a first loader is actually good. So it means that he is in a proper rested state completely. How does he not hear that? That's I don't know. That just breaks realism a little bit. He doesn't even... Let me see. He turned quicker there. A lot quicker. Okay. Then we can't do it. Now he heard it. Let's see. See, he doesn't hear it. It's odd. There we are. Excellent. Jeweler's completely supreme ghosted. Didn't take as many tries as I feared it could. Okay, we're going to listen to a conversation right now.
I'll show them someday.
Oh.
Someday I'll get them to serve.
Oh, this is the lantern guy. Okay, I hope he doesn't come over here.
God, I'm bored. 8 hours of this. I'll be home.
I love the background music. The fact that there is music, but it's a little bit subdued, which is nice. Doesn't overpower the sounds of the guards and everything.
How go thy works?
What? You mean that poor sod at the Biltmore?
Oh, murder most foul!
You don't know the half of it. Me mate Carson was on the job. He saw the body. Or what was left of it.
Vile criminal! I needs must find the evildoer.
I envy your backbone. But Carson was real shook up. He said... Oh, never mind.
What?
He said he saw some... thing... dragging the body down the lift shaft.
There is evil afoot. 'Tis as if the very shadows swallowed him up.
Aye, poor bastard about soiled himself. I ain't going near that place. Couldn't pay me enough.
Quiet thy fearful heart. Forge thee a backbone.
Ha! Easy for you to say. You cogheads haven't helped at all. Is the builder's arm so short, or do his followers lack the stones?
Thou art most wicked. Prepare for the builder's judgments.
Relax, friend. Surely the builder's arm extends to those outside the order, and surely he'll aid the watch in our search.
Karis, steel my nerves. May the master builder forgive my quick words.
Well, back to patrol. We must remain vigilant till he be caught.
Aye, return to thy duties. I keep my gears grinding, not sitting idle and gossiping.
Nice. So, whatever it is that killed Miller is having people pretty spooked. Alright, now we're going to head... So basically now we've done the entire northern area here. Like I said, you can't get into this region. We are now right out across from Dayport Lighting. We're heading against this wall right now. The door to Dayport Lighting is pickable. But we can get in a different way here. Which I'm going to do right now, so we don't have to pick the lock on that door. Because we can't relock it, and I don't like that. So we can use our rope arrow up here. Gotta have that rope stick a little bit more out. If you hug the wall too much, you can't actually climb the rope. Oh, no, no, no. Got to use the same arrow. I don't want to have to take a second rope arrow, so... much. It's a little bit difficult to shoot the arrow while you're on that slanted roof. I'll get it. We have to get up there a second time too when we end the mission. Or towards the end of the mission, I should say. There we go. I hope at least we go. Okay, then we go. Go. Didn't have that much trouble with this in my test run, but of course... That looks better. There we go. Now we can access Dayport lighting. And this, which is apartment 2, I think. Pretty sure it is. Yes, it is. There's a woman here. Carla, her name is. And we can go ahead and take a rug. And this foot locker, or this chest. Ah! Wait, what? Why on earth didn't she see me there? I feel there's something wrong. It's odd. Rug worth 150 total, 58.90. So we gotta wait for her to get up, and then we will read her diary on the bed. January 8th. I simply cannot abide this old fool's incessant hand-wringing a moment longer. The bumpy carriage ride home added insult to injury as I read through that condescending letter again and again. Yes, the brush. When a salivating vulture like Francesco is about to swoop in, there isn't time for such luxury. Does he honestly believe that a knuckle-dragging imbecile like Francesco is even in possession of such a notion? I wish it could be done another way. The truth is, if we don't use the shovel here, then our adversary will. Furthermore, if a shovel must be used, would it not make much more sense that it's left in our more capable hands? If he will not see the logic in this, then I'm afraid he'll leave me no choice. January 12th. Miller was murdered. I noticed his door was slightly ajar this morning on my way out, and found him bled out on the floor. It looked like he'd been stabbed a few times. I've scarcely seen him leave this place over the past few months. Perhaps he was laying low and hiding from someone. I know he was an eccentric, but he was usually pretty friendly. It's hard to believe anyone would wish him serious harm. I very nearly investigated his apartment more, but, well, there were some pretty strange sounds coming up out of the basement that didn't seem like they'd been good for my health, so I got out of there quickly and reported it. Oh well, it's in the watch's hands now, and I have more important things to focus on. Jacobson came through. I've instructed his goons not to seriously harm Davidov or his wife, and to take nothing but the key. I even showed them mine, since it's virtually identical. I never wanted to do this, but I know Francesco has his beady little eyes on us, and if he finds out about Davidov's tramp, then the keystone is as good as gone. They're going tomorrow night around 10 p.m. No matter what happens, I'll get my way. If Jacobson's men bring me the key, I can tell Davidov I rescued it from the intruders and blame Francesco. I should then be able to convince him that we cannot afford to wait any longer. If the men cannot find the key, I still blame Francesco, and the outcome is the same. Boris should learn to properly utilize my ample intelligence. So this was January 12th, and today is January 13th. So the event that she's talking about is tonight, and it's after 10 p.m. So this should be going on right now. January 13th. I can't sleep a wink. I hid by the Fairbanks place and watched Jacobson's men enter Davido's study window, but that was some time ago. I haven't heard any commotion, not a single sound. I can only assume that means Boris is sound asleep, and they're still looking. Not bad for goons. What in the hell is taking so long? Would they dare cross me? Surely not. They have only one of the 2 required keys, and its twin is safely on my belt. My 3 Dayport fencing championship trophies should dissuade them from desiring a tangle with my saber. It does sound a little intimidating, I gotta tell you. So we gotta get her key then. See if we can do that. An odd ornate key. Let's raid her office. Here's a vase. Worth 40. And there is a safe that we have to pick. The mask. And there's a couple of books. And a letter. Clara, you wound me. The postponing of our next expedition has nothing to do with some irrational superstition. You should know me better than that. I simply think that it's wisest to wait for the thaw. Grubber's Pass has drifted shut, like as not, and trying to get a full team out there would be suicide. Presuming we made it through the pass and into the castle, what then? The freezing wind and sub-zero temperatures would be a major distraction, to say the least, if they didn't kill us outright. There's also the lives of our loyal diggers to take into account. If we were so careless with their lives, we might not have any future expeditions at all without substantial delay. Do not labor under the delusion that this expedition is unimportant to me. Ancient languages with special emphasis on the Drymi was the subject of my dissertation, after all, and I am the current authority on the subject. Uncovering more knowledge of this fascinating culture is undoubtedly the greatest continuing work of my life, and I do not take it lightly. I'm also not comfortable hiring new diggers. As you know, it takes years of training to acquire the skills needed. I'm not willing to allow years of careful research be ruined because some ham-fisted dolt swung a pick too hard. The brush, not the shovel, my dear. Boris. P.S. Leave the tramp to me. He wouldn't dare betray us. We both have our ways. Dayport Fencing Championship, Grandmaster Saber, Clara Hollingsworth. We have to wait for her to come back up. And then we got to follow her down. That's the best way I've found to take the couple of pieces of loot down there. The main entrance to this apartment downstairs is also pickable, but coming in through the window here, we can avoid picking that lock too. And that's a pretty difficult lock to pick because there's a guard right outside. The music and the Act 1, you know, the scenes being missions, makes this entire campaign, at least so far, feel like almost an opera or a play, Shakespearean play. Never seen that done before, so it's intriguing to say the least.
What was that?
Okay, at least he does alert. I was worried that she had no alert levels or something. Book here that should be reveals a sword inside. That's our last secret. 5th secret, and then she should station herself over by the window. She comes back, and when she does that, we can take the other 2 pieces of loot, which 2 gold goblets. Go back in there. There's a kitchen at the other end.
Not such a bad job.
There we go. There's nothing else interesting down there at all. Okay, the sword was worth 100, and the gold goblets 25 each. So we should have 6180, which is correct. Get back here, we have to shoot another rope in there. And then we have to be able to take off and drop onto it. Difficult to get a foothold, so to speak, on this beam. That is definitely a good shot, so we shouldn't have a problem with that. Cannot seem to jump. Come on, Garrett. Jump already. Don't think we can mantle up those. Doesn't want to jump. Anything else we can drop onto here? No, I don't think so. Oh, and now now I got spotted. I know there's one lantern guard that comes down here. Okay, well at least now we know we can do it, so. Hope he doesn't see the rope. Truly hope he doesn't see the rope. Man. Let's wait for him then. Strange, when you do your test ghost run, you kind of discover the areas that are going to be most troublesome, and then when you actually end up recording, totally different areas end up getting difficult. Anyways. We got around that corner. Let's make it real safe. No, quick save and get going. So now we have to head into apartment 1 to get the other key that was mentioned. That's not strictly speaking necessary, but if we want to get all the objectives, which I do, then I need both keys. Oh no, 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 no,
Better
no.
not be the
Okay. Big traffic jam right here. Okay, this is Fairbanks Manor then. There's a guard outside. I don't think he alerts or even settles. We can't access that place this mission. This is the window entrance to apartment 1 that was talked about. And there's a guard in here. You can see Mr. Davidov is on the floor here. He has to be stationed that direction. And we have to inch down here ever so. If he turns, then we're caught. But we can't get in there without him noticing us.
Hey, what do you think? Hey, you shouldn't have.
Sometimes he can stay facing one direction for 30 seconds.
What?
Other times it's 5 seconds, as you see there.
Huh? Oh, you just.
Doesn't seem like he wants to stay there too long.
Huh?
Man, I gotta wait for him to turn back north. I'm sure that now he'll stay north a long time, yeah.
Thought I saw something.
Okay, I could have done it there.
Huh?
There we go. Excellent. We can go ahead and read this. Mr. Davidov, sir. Mrs. Davidov said you weren't in, but she let me leave you this note. I've been leaving the bottles on the sill like you asked me, but I've got a favor to ask. Begging your pardon, sir, but I was wondering if I could get an advance on the next few payments. I know it might not be the best timing for you, sir, but there's this ring I've been fancying for Jenny up at Sam's place, and I wanted to surprise her for her birthday. Sorry about this, sir, but times are hard right now. Maybe I could do some more work for you to make up for it. Again, sorry for the trouble. I'll be right here. I'll be here for the next few bottles tomorrow. You can tell me when. Or then, will. Okay. Up on the bookshelf here is a rug. Rugs are worth $350. No, $150, sorry. And then there is a purse worth $75 right here. Something else we can read, but we need to leave. Again, while he's facing north, and we need to take all the pieces of loot in the next room. But there's also another thief. That you can hear. That stations himself in the dining room right outside. We gotta wait for him to leave, and then we can sneak out.
With women are running from women on the guard these days. Still. I should be in a gate or something.
Okay.
Huh? Who are you?
Gotta get those 5 pieces of loot right there. And then head into the shadows.
Thought I saw something. Something.
Again, it's just a matter of him just deciding not to turn.
What?
And that he doesn't always want to do. The door to his, or to the north here, is the main entrance. I don't think that's pickable, but I think it's unlocked. But he alerts to the door opening or closing. Luckily, this door is already open. If it hadn't been, then we would have taken a first alert here. See if this is good, maybe. If you come in enough behind him, you can start walking a little bit faster.
Huh?
But if you walk too fast, he can hear you. So it's just finding the right speed, the right angles.
Huh?
Oh, that was... Oh, he heard me.
Huh? What was that? Hey.
These 10 situations are a little bit tedious for a Supreme Ghoster because you just got to be lucky with these random pivots. Those are the most annoying guards to deal with. There. Then we've got 9 pieces of loot here. 4 goblets, 4 plates, and a mask. This is Mrs. Davidoff, I assume. And in here there is a cheese. If you're one for picking up all the food. Now we can get upstairs. This guard makes these search patterns.
Thought I saw.
Those patterns are scripted, so it's not
Not
from noticing us. They're probably doing it because they're looking for that key that was mentioned. The Drimian Codex, a novel by Yan Ran Tan. Drimian Codex, I believe, was a mission by Yandros and Random Taffer and Tanner. Haven't played it, but I know of it. Boris, just as I thought, my fact-finding trip to the Blackbrook Seminary is a bust so far. I can't glean any new information in their laughably inadequate library, nor even a single reference to the Wailing Keep in their restricted section. I know one of the missions in the campaign is called the Wailing Keep, so we're probably going to end up going there, and I think, based on some of the readables here, it seems like it's a castle. Calm down, my dear Boris. I can imagine your face tightening from here. Trust me, I didn't get caught. You know my ways. I've searched every nook and cranny of this place and haven't found anything of interest beyond a juicy scandal between the bookkeeper and some pagan harlot. Might come in handy if we ever need another favor. I do not like being this far from our investment. I've done what I can to stop the Hammers from investigating that apartment. But it's hard to keep the pressure on when I'm not there to give the stink eye. The sooner we get it out of there, the better. The landlord is at his wit's end, and I don't trust that zombie you hired to haunt the place. What if he breaks into the chest and finds it? He might decide that your generous salary of rot gut isn't cutting it and pawn it off. It might get destroyed. Or worse. Francesco? The mere thought of that amateur getting his grubby little rat claws on our hard work is more than I can bear. I'll be returning to the city in a few weeks. I've got to check a few more leads. I realize our usual team might not be available, but we should assemble our expedition to the Wailing Keep the moment I get back and no later. Clara. P.S. I know you're too proud to admit it, but I could sense your fear when I mentioned the castle's alleged curse. Yeah, it's a castle. Surely a learned man such as Davidov is great. The great wouldn't give pause to such primitive ravings. Okay, let's see. There's also a locket here. And a door we gotta pick. I'll go through all the loot in a little bit. Was coming upstairs. Gotta remember to close that door to the bathroom.
Oh, gonna get used to working side by side with women, or running from women on the guard these days.
Just gotta check.
Still.
Okay, so downstairs we took, outside the office, we took a green vase worth 50, a blue vase worth 100, and 3 goblets worth 45 total. Then we took a mask above the fireplace worth 200, 4 plates worth 40, and 4 goblets worth 60 on the dining table. Then we took a locket in here in the bedroom worth 125. You should have 7,025 at this point. Yeah, we do. Alright, in here we have a couple of books. The Curse of the Wailing Keep. The Hidden Gate and Exposition of Drimian Scroll, number 138. Compendium of Ancient Civilization. Across the Vast Ether, The Story of the Drimy. And Creation Sundered, Precursors, Ancient Drymiae, and the Great Calamity. We got a diary. January 13th. I had to open a new crate for Will. Down to the last one now. Need to remind Edith to order more soon, or I'll have to start pulling from my own reserve. I really don't want to do that. Once he tastes Fira's brew, he won't be interested in the usual Burrick piss. Clara continues to press me about the expedition, and she's becoming more difficult to deflect. I've already explained the folly of trying to pass in the heart of winter, but even if we could get through, does she honestly expect me to work in that frozen hell at my age? It's an outrage. My young Clara. Her wits are as sharp as her blade, but she doesn't seem to understand that my body just isn't as resilient to the frost as it once was. She's tried every trick in the book to get me to crack, but as she says, I know her ways. Has she remembered nothing of what we taught her over the years? Archaeology isn't done by some lumbering jack with a pickaxe. It is a canvas reserved only for the patient scholar, an artist who carefully paints the dust away with his brush, revealing the secrets of the ancients, save for memoirs. Excuse me. Speaking of ancients, I'm now fully convinced that the Wailing Keep, while a Soralian structure, is built on a Drimian site, and the Soralians are known to be adept at reusing precursor technology. I have compared the castle's geographical location to the maps found in Faust's Compendium of Ancient Civilizations, and although it doesn't lie directly in known Drimian territory, it's very close to the hypothesized border, which would explain the function of such a heavily fortified building. There's also the Keystone. Though it has no discernible writing etched onto the surface besides a relief which vaguely resembles the Drimian symbol for gate, it was not uncommon for the Drymi to use devices such as this, and the Soralians no doubt reused it. Still nothing more about this supposed curse beyond the writings of Thaddeus. I've seen the old priest several times, but he still maintains the idea. Clara laughs at me, of course. I'm not a superstitious man, but I am a careful one. You don't go on as many journeys as I without coming away with some measure of respect for the local traditions. There's often something to them, and no matter how absurd. I don't see why she worries so about Francesco. He's no scholar. The Drymi were an extremely intelligent people, and most of their knowledge is guarded by all sorts of devious traps that would require specialized knowledge to bypass. Knowledge that only someone like myself would have access to, and, after all, they don't call me Davidov the Great for nothing. Okay, we can also pick the lock on this safe. And here we have a purse, and that is worth 340, so that's total 73.65. And then the key that the guards, or the thieves rather, is looking for is back here. That is another odd ornate key, so we now have two of those. They don't stack in the inventory, you see, so they're two separate keys, probably for two separate locks. Close that door and close this door. Now we just have to leave. This door was open as well. You can turn off the electricity to the house over here in the fuse box. Turns off all the lights. Of course, we can't do that for Supreme, so no point in even thinking about it. Oh, blah. I was meant to stay in the dark there and lean. Wait for him to turn.
Hey, who are you?
I am Garrett. Again, it's just a matter of him staying there for like 10-15 seconds, I'd say. Good. Didn't take that long this time. Okay. No first alert. Going back out is easier because mantling up does not count actually as a speed enhancement. Even though the light gem changes, you don't move technically. It doesn't detect it as movement. So very rarely, if you stand still and mantle, do you get any first alerts there. Okay, now we're on our way here. So now we are done in the entire northern parts of the city, and we're done in the entire southwestern part. So now we're going to move around here, and we are going to hit the southeast, and we're going to end up in the apartment of Miller. That's the only apartment we don't have, we haven't taken yet. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
We're hitting the traffic jam again. Oh.
Hey.
I didn't even save it here. I was like, where am I now? Okay, now we're rounding the corner of the Hammerite Priests building, getting to the Dayport Chapel. Now this guard here does give settling remarks, which means that he doesn't alert because he's neutral, he's not supposed to alert us. But if he sees us, he will still give a settling remark as if he hasn't alerted. Those are not considered busts for Supreme, but if we can avoid it, I would like to. I would like to very much. He did not see me, because there's a hammer right here. This is the last piece of loot that I found in this mission. It was the only piece of loot that I needed a little nudge to locate. No, I didn't get an outright spoiler, and certainly did not use any loot lists. But I found every piece of loot besides this one. So, and I was up here like 2 or 3 times looking for loot before, on the 4th time I tried it, I found it finally. So it's worth 75, total 74.20. Now we want to go back down. He's far away. I can't really tell if he saw me, and I can't hear if he gives an alert, so. So to fall back down here, I want to fall back onto the edge of the statue.
Here at last is a man with the mind of a general and the heart of a poet.
And then fall back down here.
He will lift us up from the earth.
Now we got to cross this area here without really getting spotted by him. It looks like there's shadow all the way through, but there really isn't. So we have to go slow. We light up as much as this, but if we go slow, then he won't notice us. There we go. Gonna give it a real save here. Okay, we gotta get head into the city watch post. There is a safe in there with loot and with the key for apartment 3, which is Miller's apartment. There's also a readable in the safe, and there's a readable upstairs that we want to get. I think you can access this... Oh, no, I don't think so, because I don't know if the balcony is wood or what it is. It kind of doesn't look like it. There's also a guard that patrols the streets that also go in. We got to wait for him to leave before we can enter. We also got to time the female archer that goes up and down. She's stationed on the balcony for a little bit. That key we also have to return. It's the only remaining key that we got to return. Okay, well now she goes back down. Not really, isn't that good for us. Doesn't seem like these are timed well right now. Let me check this out. Yeah. She's stationed there. And then you can see the safe on the back wall. But that other guard heads over to the north gate. He comes up... No. Not the north gate. He goes up here to a different gate. And then comes back and goes in. Difficult lock, this. Three stacks of gold coins worth 75, one Biltmore Apartment 3 key, and a letter. Bosley, this is the key to the inventor's apartment. We've had to lock it to keep whatever that thing is that Geordie saw locked in there until the captain gets back day after tomorrow. Captain will know how to handle this, so we can recover the body and begin investigating proper. Until then, keep this key in the safe and don't let anyone have it until I ask for it. Sergeant Wilson. Okay, I gotta be a little quick here. 5 broadhead arrows here.
Hello?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Let's see if we can do something here. And we gotta wait for him to come back. Should be timed better this one, I think. Now they're both stationed in there. Yeah. Can't read this. Up here is a healing potion and another readable. January 13th, 0620. Miller, the inventor, was found dead by a neighbor earlier this morning in his living room, apparently stabbed to death. The neighbor reported hearing weird noises around daybreak and went to investigate. She found the door unlocked, and on opening it, saw Miller on the floor just inside the door, in a pool of blood. She claimed to hear scary noises coming from the basement and fear that the killer might still be there, so fled to the guard post to report the incident. January 13th, so same day, 0642. Officer Carson went to investigate, and when he arrived on the scene, he claimed to see a hideous figure dragging Miller's body down the lift shaft into the basement. He said it made odd whirring noises, whirring and quick clicking noises, and swore he heard it talk, but said it sounded like a machine, but also like a woman. He says he felt threatened by it, so he returned to the watch office for reinforcements. Personally, I think he had been nipping something, even though it was early morning, but who knows, that inventor probably made some weird things. I'll send a couple of officers over there right away to check it out. Same day, 0726. Only one man came back from Miller's place. Charlie's nowhere to be found. I've got a team of men scouring the streets with lanterns, but the fog isn't making it any easier. We don't want to panic on our hands. I'd call it a stroke of luck that none of the others were around when Benson came hurtling through the door like the trickster'd come collecting. But damn it, he's my best man, and now I'm afraid he's gone off the deep end. White as a sheet and gibbering like he'd half a tongue. It took me nearly an hour to calm him down enough to where he was even aware of my presence. Even after that, he just sat there staring off into the distance with wild eyes, nearly jumping through the roof every time the taffing door opened. The alarm for my desk clock began whirring, and thought it was going to cry, and he thought he was going to cry. Through the whimpering and dark mutterings, I could only make out that there was apparently some sort of dangerous she-beast prowling through Miller's basement. Builder knows what happened to Charlie. Benson thinks he got out, but couldn't be sure. If there's anything in this world that could turn a big man like Benson into a frightened child, I sure as Taft don't want to meet it. I'm going to wait until the captain returns from leave tomorrow to ask him how we should go about handling this and recovering the body. For now, I had them lower the lift to ground floor and turn off the power to it to keep the thing from crawling out of there until we can figure out how to approach the problem. Wanted. Have you seen this bunny?
Maybe it was rat.
Wait, what? What was that?
Don't get paid for jumping at nothing.
That was a first alert. From probably me picking the lock on the safe, to be honest with you. Not 100%, but...
That time we cleaned up those cesspools of filthy tappers.
that might have been it. That happens sometimes. I'm happy I real saved it. If you don't catch the first alert of doors opening or closing, picking locks, even using water arrows, maybe a few other instances, then it takes a good, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes for the guard to settle down and give a settling remark. And if you save in the meantime and reload and hear the settling remark, then that indicates a first alert from hostile guards, which this obviously is. If that happens, all you have to do is reload. There's nothing else you can do about it. There is a randomness to how long these guards are stationed at the end of their patrol. Because now the swordsman is in there a lot longer than he was the last time.
was that?
So she hears that. Last time she didn't give a first alert from that.
Something there?
That's guaranteed what she alerted to. Well, we can enjoy the scenery while we wait. Beautiful mission, this. We might have to wait another cycle here. I don't know. No, maybe not. I don't like the fact that she doesn't give
That's
any.
enough lurking up.
Don't like the fact that she doesn't give any first alerts here. Don't like that at all.
I hear you back there.
Hmm.
Show yourself and report.
I just want to. If I can trigger a first alert from her, then she's not in a first alert state, and I know I'm good. That's what I'm trying right now.
By the time we cleaned up those cesspools of filthy tacklers, every one of them knew what they were selling. Something's up. is your job, private guard duty. That's what I know. Sheriff's just as bad as those blue bloody mules. Except he doesn't really know how to kick back and take it easy. Short walking patrol. It's always nothing. It's never anything exciting.
Let's see. Let's see if she gives that settling remark again. If she does, I might need to pick the lock on that safe only when she's on the balcony. When she's physically out on the balcony. That might take a little longer, but it's safer. Well, she hasn't given any first or settling remarks yet. This time. And I got what I needed, right? Yes. I think I'm good, to be honest with you. Because then it means that settling remark she gave earlier was from me jumping. She just doesn't always give first alerts. That is a little weird, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think I'm good here. I just needed to double check that. That says the Biltmore Apartments, and this says Greenwood Apartments, a vacancy. And that we have here. Obviously not as high-end of an apartment complex as Biltmore. So let's see. We have to get in here. First, let's read this. Mr. Soldis, your neighbors have been complaining to me about loud music coming from your apartment for extended periods of time, including late evening hours. They claim you leave it playing while you are out, which is most inconsiderate. Please remedy this situation, as I'm tired of the complaints. Oliver Gladwell, landlord, Greenwood Apartments. Okay. We're gonna climb in here. This is the zombie that was talked about. Though it's not really a zombie, it's just some kind of dude. Whoa. And here's a fruit. Bottle of wine. Two ornate keys we can use on this hidden chest. And pick up a curious keystone. And that triggers a hidden objective. Nice find. Normally such a piece wouldn't have much market value, but you can probably sell it back to Boris for a pretty penny. He and Claire will no doubt be glad to have it back. Bonus. Such bonus objectives are not required for Supreme. The bottle was worth 15. So we have 75, 65. They're not required for Supreme because only the ones that are in the task list are required to finish. Jump over here. And here's a vase worth 60. Total 76.25. And there's a diary under here. 11th of January. I wish I could afford a place as nice as my brother's. He has a doorman and nice carpet. Not like this run-down tenement. The walls in this place are so thin every night when Mrs. Robinson next door takes a bath, I can hear the water running through the walls and it wakes me up. She's a really lovely woman. I get goosebumps when she says hello to me when we pass in the hall. I wonder. 12th of January. I brought home a small saw and a drill from work. The boss won't ever notice they're missing for a day or two. I'll wait until she's done and gone to bed, and then I'll get to work. It'll give me an outlet for the frustration and rage I feel over being subjected to that blasted music from the idiot down in 2A. I heard some of the others have complained about it to Gladwell. I may as well speak up about it too. While I'm at it, I'll mention the weird ghostly noises I hear coming from 2C. I look across into the broken window and sometimes catch a glimpse of a figure carrying a blue lantern. Just what I need, a ghost for a neighbor. Creepy guy. And to leave, we can crouch and just walk. Oh, that shouldn't. Oh, last time I played I didn't take any damage from this. That is very odd. There we go. Alright, now we're ready to hit the basement. Basically the last place besides Dayport lighting that we haven't been. And there's a guard right outside the apartment.
Thought I saw something.
He does turn, just like the thief did in apartment 1. And we can use that to pass him.
Hello?
Oh. We can pass by him on the right. Get in there.
Thought.
If I can be a little bit more careful. Come on, buddy. Turn. Jeez, I need him to turn a little faster because that patrolling guard is going to come down here and see me. Kind of odd. What's the matter here? I hope he's not stuck. This is incredible. There, man.
Freeze!
Okay, well, he usually turns towards his south. She didn't do this time. So I don't know what's up with that. Now he did. It's Clara.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh. Might just have to... So now he turns towards the south. Okay, when I was about to go on the south side. This guy's got eyes in his neck. I'm telling you. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do, I don't want to close the door because then I get a first alert. What I instead want to do is I want to leave the door ajar as much as I can because that actually blocks him from seeing me when I'm in there. Oh, I did not want to take that rope arrow. Ugh. Yeah. Okay, let me... Oh, again. Well, at least I saved it. Yeah. Okay, that should be good. So this is then Miller's apartment. The atmosphere and the sound in this place is magnificent. It creates such a tense atmosphere. The lighting, the pulsating lights, the blood, especially the sounds of whatever it is from the basement. The tapping from the walking downstairs. Just trying to soak it in here a little bit. Soak it up. Alright, let's go ahead and take some loot. Vase worth 100. 2 candlesticks worth 100 total. A fire poker worth 50. Another gold candlestick. And in the kitchen, there's a bottle of wine. That's right, worth 50. And then there's a rope arrow, of course. This is the elevator. It doesn't work right now. We can move upstairs and turn it on. It'll automatically go up to the 3rd floor once we do. Which means that we have to turn this back on and sort of leave it in a automatic state to go up to the 3rd floor. At least I'll try to do that. Okay, here's a diary. August 29th. At last, a stroke of luck. Brody sent for me today. He has recovered the body of a young woman that has remained unidentified for several days now, and by his description will likely remain that way. The location she was found, as well as her malnourished and generally unkempt appearance, indicates that she was likely homeless. I will visit Brody tomorrow to find out if this girl will suit my requirements. Of course, it's difficult to tell at this point. Nothing like this has ever been done before. August 30th. The girl is just as Brody said. She is dirty, half-starved, and her hair is a matted nest. But as I look upon her, it is clear that she once was quite attractive. If I believed in fate, I'd say she was a cruel mistress. Brody required a small fee, of course. It pains me to have to stoop to the level of dealing with such a crooked mortician, but where could I obtain a willing volunteer? I do not delight in her death, but I am thankful for it. Desecration of the dead is a heretical offense, but the path of the true scientist is not an easy one. Our desire to push the boundaries of society for the benefit of the future is a double-edged sword, both a blessing and a curse. August 31st. It's a shame the girl wasn't delivered to Brody's in a more timely manner. The rot has already begun to set in, and much of her flesh is unusable. I've got her on ice to slow the decay until I can hook her up to the fluid exchange terminal. But I keep finding myself in the habit of procrastination. While I am truly gripped with the excitement for the task at hand, I cannot help but feel a sense of dread deep down, a persistent nagging voice that insists I am treading where no man has any right. My flirtation with the teachings of the Hammerites in early life, and their prominent role in society at large, is surely to blame. I have to remind myself that I set all that aside. I have exchanged primitive superstition for rationality. The delusion of our morality is a mere stumbling block, a crooked route in the path of the ever-striding giant of progress. I shall remove it from my own path this very night. Work begins tomorrow. September 1st. It's been a productive day. Fluid exchange has begun without a hitch, and I've even managed to remove the majority of the necrotic tissue. I'm pleased to report that my scalpel hovered for only a brief moment of hesitation this morning. My thoughts are now unclouded. It's unfortunate that much of the decay was present on her face. I'm afraid its removal has robbed her of her former beauty, and she is now quite ghastly to look upon. I suppose I can fashion some sort of mask for her, but I'm not concerned for the moment. Function before aesthetics, at least for now. If I am to eventually sell my creations, they must appeal to the eye as well. September 28th. I realize it's been weeks since my last entry, but progress has really taken off, and in my excitement I've scarcely found time to eat, much less write. Delilah, as I've come to call her, opened her eyes for the first time today. The pupils are dilated, and she has no mind to perceive anything as of yet. But the difference is still astounding. I managed to cover the rent for this month, but my stock of leftover mechanist materials is beginning to wane. I'm going to need to find a way to secure more funding before too long. I can't exactly ask the hammers or mechanists for help with corpse reanimation. Perhaps I can sell some of my work. Maybe Brody can make some inquiries into the black market for me. It seems a cruel joke that I've developed a formula for synthetic emeralds, but lack the machinery to put it to use. All my funding troubles would have been a thing of the past. October 12th. I really need to get better at keeping this thing up to date. I'd hate to rely on memory alone for the inevitable book. Even after many precious hours with the scalpel, I failed to extract the last trace amounts of necrotic tissue. I have, however, isolated it completely to her legs. Delilah is just a prototype, and since a house servant should not have such a hideous smell, I have opted to remove her legs completely, and will replace them with much stronger and more sanitary metallic ones. Tomorrow the real work begins. Delilah needs a mind. Through all of this, I can't help but recall my youthful fascination with that old myth of the golem. It was my dream to one day build one, and though Delilah is not made from clay, she's not altogether unlike one. I simply couldn't resist stuffing the old scrap of paper I ripped from that forbidden tome into Delilah's mouth. Purely symbolic, of course. It is signs, not magical incantations, that will bring Delilah back from the dead. December 15th. I've done it! Delilah lives. Well, not quite. She can only do what I've programmed her to do, but that's the idea anyway. She cannot speak as of yet. Her vocal cords were almost completely destroyed by necrosis. I will begin work on the synthetic voice soon. The ragged, wet, gasping noises she keeps making simply won't do. I've also had to replace much of her hands with steel and cable. I'm going to need to recalibrate her grip parameters as soon as possible, as evidenced by the handshake experiment. Note to self. See doctor about fractured metacarpals. I love that one. January 10th. Last night I had the strangest dream. It seemed to me that I suddenly woke to a soft mewling sound. To my horror, there was Delilah at the foot of my bed. She looked different. Eyes that were usually vacant and glazed over were now awake and alert with a terrible pleading. Her mouth opened and shrieks of wet nonsense spewed forth in hideous glossolalia. The inside of my head felt like a smashed piano, and I passed into sheer white panic. Next thing I knew, my room was empty. I quickly confirmed that she was indeed still in the basement, gazing at me dumbly as she continued the waitress program on loop. Only a dream, then. Still, now that I've given life to her legs with several locomotion routines, I'm going to need to make sure she stays in the basement. As a precaution, I've now rigged the lift buttons to an additional circuit and installed the control levers so I can disable access to the lift entirely. I can't risk any guests seeing her. One look and they'd probably faint. It was a dream. I will be programming her security routine today. I'll need to find something to test it on. Perhaps one of Miss Tibbs' many cats. Also, Brody's found me a buyer. Apparently a nobleman from Aldale named Lord Highwater is interested in my formula, and is willing to pay much higher than I'd ever expect to receive for it. His man is bringing the payment tomorrow night. I'd rather not part with any of my work, but I do need more funds to perfect Delilah. Emeralds are nothing compared to what I'm about to create. January 12th. My God, what have I done? I went down this morning to collect last night's reels, but she attacked me. She cut my arm wide open with a single flick of her finger. She then immediately began to try and bandage me up. As soon as my arm was wrapped, she tried to attack me again, but I managed to short-circuit her with a glass of water and made my escape. Now whenever I peer down the elevator shaft, she's there staring up at me and issuing those disgusting wet gags, just waiting for me to come down so she can mangle me like as not. For a minute I thought I could see a glimmer of malice in her eyes, but that's not possible. It was a dream. What did I do wrong? Seems like I must have accidentally activated several of her routines before I left last night, and now she's stuck in a very unfortunate combination. At least I know the security routine works, technically. The reels confirm my suspicions. She is indeed stuck in at least 3 routines: nurse, waitress, and guard. I also couldn't help but notice a few really strange additions to the reels that are not part of the programming. It's almost as if... But no, that's impossible. I cannot go there. I need to find a way to deactivate her guard routine at the very least before I can safely continue my work. Perhaps if I could lure her into some sort of sprinkler system, it would give me ample time to make the adjustments. I'd better get this thing nipped in the bud before Highwater's man arrives tonight. I think I've got a copy of the formula up here, but if not, I'll need to write another, and my notes are in the basement safe. Great readable. Readables like this really makes the mission come alive, I think. So we now know that we need to go to the basement safe to get information on the formula. He said that it might be up here, but it's not. There's a couple of other readables, though. I'm not going to go ahead and read this, but this is programming information and complete calibrations. I see you, life in stereo, which is probably visual and audio, calibrating spatial reasoning, hello world, and then the waitress routine that was talked about. And then there are some unknown responses here. Squeals and screams, critical failure. There's a couple more that we'll see. Up here is a pile of coins, worth 35, total 8,010. Okay, in the bedroom there is another of those programming papers. The nurse routine, the waitress routine, And then there's a bad input. Let me sleep. Why? Critical failure. And there's a guard routine and a walking locomotion routine. Nurse, waitress. And then there's an unknown command, hate, and bad input, squeeze. There's a purse here, worth 75. Total 8,085. The third and last readable. Again, locomotion, walking, waitress. And the unknown command is pain so loud. Help. Critical failure. In the bathroom there is a coin worth 5. And then there is also a water arrow in the sink, and we're actually going to take that. We will need it in the basement. I think that's it, right? Should be able to drop here without taking any damage. Yep. And now we can head down. Okay. Seems like Delilah is on her way here, and we are safe in this location. I'm gonna head straight for the dining room. Flip the switch. Then we can take the key. Miller's key. Turn it back on. Goblet. There's also a fruit under the table. Bottle of wine here. Okay, I think we can make this. Want it to be a little bit fast here, so I apologize for not explaining anything. There's basically 2 areas in the basement. Delilah, who you saw. If you haven't played this mission, then this is her. She turns on the light when she goes in there, and she just tends to Miller, who she's obviously killed. And the other end of her patrol is where we're going to go next, and that is the area where the safe is. And we need to go to the dining room first to get the key. Okay, let me explain a few things here. Here you have a robot that is currently inactive. It seems like there is some kind of electrical halo of gas that inactivates it. Even though it's moving, it's not alerting. When we open the safe, this robot will become active. It seems like opening the safe sort of unlocks the security parameters for the robot. You can kill the bot by shooting a water arrow onto this part of the circuit, but that, even though it doesn't count in the stats as damage and kills, it is destroying the robot. And that is not allowed for Supreme or Ghost. What we have to do here, I have tried so many times opening the safe and then being able to sneak over without getting an alert from the robot. It's just not possible. I have not even been able to avoid hunt mode or alarm. This flickering light here pulsates on and off, but it doesn't stay off long enough for us to be able to head over and get the contents of the safe and leave again. It's just not feasible. And there's no other way to get dark or hide here. The entire room is affected by this lamp. So we have to shoot a water arrow on the lamp. You can see that it's sparking, which means that if you shoot a water arrow, it'll stay off for, I guess, about 10-15 seconds. Enough for us to unlock the safe and get the contents. So that's what we're going to have to do. That is, of course, a bus to Supreme, but it's not a bus to regular Ghosts.
This should be useful to Fairbanks. Now to go get paid. I don't want to stay down here another minute.
Go in here, we are safe. The key disappeared, so we don't have to return that, and that means we also cannot relock the safe. Those sounds indicate that the robot is working. I don't know why Delilah isn't coming here. So we took Miller's research notes, and that checked off getting inside Miller's workshop and finding something useful. We can't actually read anything, but this is what Lord Fairbanks wants. We also took a purse worth 100, total 82.55. Now we just have to reset the... Oh, that was not what I intended. If you're not ghosting, you can temporarily disable Delilah with a water arrow. Water arrow to the back. But I don't think there's any way to actually kill her. Once she got stuck on top of the table in the dining room. So then I could freely explore without worrying about her, but... Turn this off and then flip the top button. That means that we leave it in the same state as it was in. If somebody turns this on now, it'll automatically come up to third, which is what it was like in the beginning. So that means, unfortunately, Supreme is busted. We took a bus downstairs using a water arrow. And when we leave here, we're going to end up taking another bus, because when this door closes, this guard will give an alert.
Thought I heard something.
Alright, that's it. Door is locked now. Okay. Hope she doesn't hear the... She did not hear the safe. Then we are good. Okay, the only place we have left now is Dayport Lighting and the Trickster's Tale Pub, where we are meeting Lord Fairbanks. So we're going to go to Dayport Lighting first. And that we can do by going around this way. And we again have to rope arrow up the roof the way we did earlier. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Not a good start. Nice. That didn't take long at all. There we go. Not sure if we can drop here, but we can. Okay, here is a purse in this box, worth 85. And there's a readable here. December 14th, sold 2 birdhouse lights, 180 gold. Sold glass lamp red rose, 40 gold. December 15th, sold green leaf glass lamp, 25 gold. Sold 2 deco style wall fixtures, 10 gold. Sold 4 pair pewter candlesticks, 4 gold. December 17th, sold orchid glass lamp, 40 gold. Sold gold knob and 2 chandelier, 220 gold. December 18th, received in the two of the King's Ransom pedestal light. Paid 1,600 gold. Received 4 electric brass lamps, paid 32 gold. Received dozen glass lamps, paid 120 gold. December 18th, sold red electric brass lamp, 25 gold. December 20th, sold 1 King's Ransom pedestal light, 1,200 gold. Paid guardsman 5 gold to ensure it arrived safely. December 21st, pair gold candlesticks, 80 gold after discount. December 22nd, orchid glass lamp, 40 gold. Red rose glass lamp, 40 gold. December 27th, sold 3 Sarina chandeliers, 1,050 gold. Birdhouse light, 90 gold. December 28th, tall torch, 5 gold. Plain lantern, 10 gold. January 6th, cast iron chandelier, 80 gold. Sold peacock glass lamp, 40 gold. Birdhouse light, 90 gold. January 10th, received 3 Sarina chandeliers, paid 600 gold. Sold 2 pair polished brass, 20 gold. Sold 4 pair pewter, 4 gold. And January 11th, paid guardsman for favor, 10 gold. So he bought each of those chandeliers for 200 gold each. And he sold them for 350 each. So 150 gold profit on those chandeliers. Interesting to see that that kind of stuff matches here. Okay. There's a ring onto the elevator. It's worth 100. There's also 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks. And then in the main shop, there are 3 gold coins worth 5 each. We should have 86.55, and that is correct. On the shoulders of giants, the Davidoff Hollingsworth deception. Okay. In here we have a readable. A diary. December 15th. Finally finished making a half dozen of the birdhouse wall lights. They're selling really well, particularly with the ladies. No wonder, it looks like a little golden birdhouse full of light. December 16th. Received in the King's Ransom pedestal light. What a work of art. Holds 4 candles and stands taller than I do. It has actual gemstones in it, as if the rest of it weren't pretty enough. It goes very well with the ceiling chandelier by the same artist. That chandelier holds 6 candles and looks like crowns melded together. Welded together. December 18th. Received in 4 of the electric brass table lamps, one each of purple, blue, green, and red. December 20th. The stained glass lamps are selling very well. People seem to prefer the brighter colored ones, red rose, peacock orchids, but the Camilla and ice chip versions also do well. December 27th. Sold the Serena chandelier to Lady Rumford. She wants 2 more, which are on order. It's no surprise, she is too old-fashioned to opt into her home with electric or gas. However, I cannot fault her taste. The ceiling chandelier holds 10 candles and has beautiful golden fretwork. January 6th. It's been quite quiet lately. Most of the town must be out on winter holiday. January 8th. The Serena chandeliers arrived today. I sent 2 over to Lady R and installed the 3rd back in the showroom. It's a beautiful piece. January 9th. I caught one of the customers trying to pry one of the gems off the King's Ransom pedestal light. The guardsman didn't go easy on him and broke his arm. Still, it's not like we will need it where he's going. January 10th. Once the last of the plain gold candlesticks sell, I am never ordering or making another one. They are so ordinary the staff just steal them, knowing they can never be identified. Then the owners buy them back from the pawn shop cheaper than I can sell them here. Those things just lose me money. Polished brass looks just as good and doesn't disappear nearly as often. January 12th. Sold 2 more pair of the polished brass candlesticks. Everyone likes beautiful golden candlesticks without the cost of the gold. Okay, there's a safe here that we can't pick. I think the... Oh, key is here. In the safe you have a rug worth 150, purse worth 165, and a pile of coins worth 80. 9,050, that's right. It's everything in here, except for up on this ledge. There's an entrance to some kind of attic shaft. In here is a chest with a statue worth 75, total 91.25. And then this actually takes us west, which means we're getting close to the Trickster's Tail Pub. And this should be Fairbanks.
Mr. Garrett, is that you?
I'm here. I think this could be useful to you.
Ah, yes, indeed. Well done, Mr. Garrett. This should prevent anyone else from recreating the formula for synthesizing emeralds. Here's your payment.
My contact said you would have additional work. Get to the point.
A man who cuts to the chase. I love it. You may have heard of my family's feud with the Highwaters. I need you to go to their estate.
Your feud is well known throughout the city, but I don't like getting mixed up in such business. You'll have to make it worth my while.
As you know, Alan Highwater purchased the formula from Miller before his murder. I fear his intentions with the formula will cause problems. He went to the Hammerites, our family's only mutual allies, and proposed a deal whereby they would use the formula and their production capabilities to mass-produce emeralds. In return for providing materials and labor, they would keep some emeralds for their coffers.
That doesn't sound like an enterprise the Hammers would have much interest in.
Indeed, which leads me to our problem. Highwater has now turned tail and struck a deal with those upstart mechanists. They appear to be all too interested.
Our problem?
That's not all, Mr. Garrett. I've heard from a reliable source that the ability to create large emeralds is of great interest to the mechanist leader, Karras. Apparently, large, flawless emeralds will provide his security robots with much greater abilities, as they are used for the lenses through which the mechanist contraptions sense their surroundings.
Ah. Well, that's clearly something I don't want to see in my line of business.
I thought you'd see it that way.
So, what you need me to do? And how much does it pay?
Lord and Lady Highwater leave tomorrow morning for a winter holiday. The guards tend to relax when their master isn't around. Break into the Highwater estate tomorrow night, find and steal the formula, and get it back to me. Your payment will be 5,000 upon handing over the formula. You can keep anything you manage to steal from the estate as a bonus, with one exception. If you find a large, beautiful sword with a black leather-wrapped handle, that's mine. It was stolen from my grandfather by the Highwaters, and I wanted it back for a long, long time. I'll give you an extra 1,000 if you return it.
Lord Fairbanks, you've got yourself a thief.
Splendid! I'll be waiting tomorrow night in room 2 of the Harlequin Inn for you to deliver the goods. Now wait here for a minute after I leave. No one must know of our meeting.
Okay, we have checked off meeting Fairbanks, and it seemed like we pretty much got the objective for the next mission as well. Grab this goblet, worth 15, right from under his nose. Grab a stack of coins worth 80. And then read the ledger. Ledger for 29th of December through 12th of January. Sales: beer 805, wine 455, ale 390, services 800, total 2450. Expenses: drink 580, staff 360, glassware 90, supplies 40, rent 450, total 1520, net profit 920. And the last piece of loot that we can take is this goblet, worth 15, total 92.35. That's max for Supreme. We just gotta leave here, but it's super... It's super bright right outside the opening, so... Yeah, they hear the door for some reason. They first alert to the door. now we basically have everything we need. And we can just head to Southgate and end the mission. Excellent. We didn't get a successful Supreme here.
Pays not as good.
You made a
Oh, that is so bad timing. We didn't get a successful Supreme, but we got as close as we possibly could. We got 2 busts. Just check. That's it. Alright, that was a successful Ghost of Death's Cold Embrace Mission 1, Murder Most Foul. We took 2 busts for Supreme, and we skipped 2 pieces of loot. Let's go through the stats first. Difficulty Expert, total time 1 hour, 26 minutes, 16 seconds, found 92.35 loot out of 94.25. So we skipped 190 loot. And first of all, we skipped a purse worth 140 at the Harlequin Inn, because if you come from the back door, which is the most discreet, you get a first alert from the barkeeper. You can take that for regular Ghost if you want to. We also skipped a gold candlestick. That was at the artist studio, I think. Since it emits light, when you take it, you remove a light source, and that's not allowed for Supreme. So that's worth 50, total 190. Pockets picked 1 out of 2. That was a purse, wasn't it? No, it was the key from Clara. That's right. Locks picked 9. Backstab 0, knockout 0, damage dealt 0, damage taken 0, healing taken 0, innocents killed none, and others killed 0. Secrets found 5 out of 5. So we took 2 busts to Supreme. We took them pretty late in the mission. We took 1 when we had to put out the lamp above the safe in Miller's basement for a few seconds in order to open the safe, get the content without getting busted completely by the robot. Inevitable, I'm afraid, but that's how it is. And then just a few seconds later, when we left Miller's apartment, we got a first alert from the guard who was positioned like a foot outside the door. There's no way you can avoid that. You can either leave the door open and get a first alert, but I felt leaving the door open would be much more indication of a break-in by a thief than a first alert would. So anyway, great start to this campaign. I'm looking forward to the second mission, which, like I said, I haven't even touched. So the next mission, I'm not sure what it's going to be. It could be Thief Gold. It could be Mission 2 here. I also have another different mission up my sleeve that I'm not going to announce right now. That might be a surprise if that's the one that ends up coming. So hope you guys enjoy this. We are going to go ahead and make a real save. And I will see you guys back next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.